Roxo Media House.
2 on the play clock, 1 on the play clock. Duggan calls for it. Snap comes. Play action. Got a man wide open. Middle of the field. Spivey. Touchdown. Hit the horn. TCU scores on the opening drive.
You are in the State of the Frogs, presented by the Railhead Smokehouse with TCU head coach Sonny Dykes. And also brought to you by Hub Fort Worth, Old Trapper Beef Jerky, Texas Health Resources, and by Cadillac. Now with the coach, here is the voice of the Frogs, Brian Estridge.
State of the Frogs continues now with the Horned Frogs sitting at 12-0 on the season. Welcome in. I'm Brian Estridge, along with the head coach Sonny Dykes. Is his team now still unblemished on the year? And you had been calling for a fast start. You'd been calling for a complete game, all these sorts of things. You might have gotten it last Saturday, huh?
Yeah, certainly closest we've been in a while, probably actually since Oklahoma. Thought our guys came out, started fast. We had a ton of energy. We had a really good week of practice. I think we started to see the light at the end of the tunnel a little bit. You get in the middle of the season and you play 3 road games in 4 weeks like we did going to West Virginia, Texas, and Baylor. That takes its toll on you. And so it was good to get back home. We didn't have class last week, so guys had an opportunity to get a little bit of extra rest, and I think that was really, really important. And just had a tremendous week of practice. Tuesday and Wednesday were 2 of our better practices we had all year. And you could tell our guys kind of knew what this game, how important it was and what it was all about. And so we came out and started fast. And, I was really concerned playing those guys. I mean, it's just kind of they've been so good on defense and had such bad luck going into the game. You figured at some point some of that luck would even out a little bit. And we were fortunate to get on them early and really play a good game.
The conditions were not perfect either on the day, especially earlier in the day. It rained pretty hard here in Fort Worth, and I thought the crowd, though, stood through it all, and they were into it.
Yeah, the crowd was awesome. And considering all the stuff 2 days after Thanksgiving, and a lot of students were out of town, and the bad weather and just the whole thing, I thought the crowd was outstanding. The crowd's been good all year, especially our students. They've been incredible. They've done a great job supporting these their classmates, and I know how important it is to our players to have the students involved and have the crowd involved. It's been a big deal for us.
We talked to a couple of seniors afterwards there on Senior Day. What a way to go out. I know the whole list of seniors is kind of fluid at this point, but it was good to see those guys walk through that tunnel and then to be able to pay off in the end for them.
Oh, yeah. It means a lot to seniors and guys that could come back next year. That's what we talked about is how do we want to approach this, and we just said, look, if you want to walk, and then you can figure it out later. And heck, if you end up walking twice, good for you. We don't care. And so we had some guys that participated in Senior Day yesterday that we think will be back next year. But we told them, go ahead and cross that off your list. And I know they really enjoyed having a chance to do that. It's really nice for them to have a chance to get their families down there and recognize their families. And as our players said, it's really not about them as much as it is about the sacrifices their families made to get them in the position they're in.
You hung 62 on the board, and you do it without your 3 top receivers, and Tay Barber and Quentin Johnston and Darius Davis.
Yeah.
But you got guys stepping up all day.
Yeah, we did, and some of those guys played a little bit here and there, but, didn't have Quentin at all. We just felt like we kept getting him kind of through the week and then putting him out there on Saturday at about 85, 90%, and then just felt like he was going to get banged up again, and we were going to start this process all over again. So I think he's feeling better now than he has in probably a month. And so we anticipate him being close to full speed for the conference championship game, and we're certainly going to need him. Darius and Tay are 2 tough guys. I mean, they are. It's hard to put a credit or value on what they mean to our program and just how tough they are and how much they love playing football. And both those guys are really special players and just they're great teammates. They make everybody around them better. Those guys are just awesome.
But then you take those 3 guys out of the mix, and 9 different receivers make catches.
Yeah.
That tells you a little bit about the depth.
Yeah, we got some depth. They had some guys step up. Jared Wiley really did a great job. Thought he played well. Savion played the best game he's played in a while. Blair Conwright did a lot of good things as well. So, it's fun when you have guys that work really hard and they get an opportunity and they go out and they perform at a high level, and that's what you expect. Obviously, Jordan Hudson, the freshman, had 2 touchdown catches. He's starting to kind of figure things out, and he's very, very talented and got a really bright future.
You talked about how coming into this game you were a little worried about it. You doubled the point total that anyone had put on Iowa State. That was the number 1 defense in the league, Iowa State.
Yeah, and we did that a variety of different ways. Obviously 2 touchdowns defensively was a big part of that. Special teams was a big part of it. 60-plus yard kickoff return set us up for great field position. We got a turnover on the punt, which obviously was a big field position swing as well. So a lot of things happened to give our offense short fields, and then we converted some fourth downs. Converted 2 touchdowns on fourth down, one on the pass, early in the game, and then one on Kendray's run late in the game. So, those were big plays, and none of it was easy, but our guys did a great job of executing and figure out ways to score.
We talked about it post-game. We were kind of sitting on the note all week long. We didn't want to jinx anybody or anything, but you passed your dad in career wins.
Yeah, I was completely unaware of that.
Yeah. That was kind of neat, though, you said.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool thing to do, and, especially to get the 12th win doing that and finish the regular season undefeated. That was pretty special and a pretty cool thing to have happen, and it was good to see it.
Yeah, the Horned Frogs. Let's take a look at the scoring from this one, because there's a lot to get into, as you might imagine, Coach. The Frogs get on the board early. Speaking of guys stepping up, Spivey here with the touchdown catch to get things started.
Yeah, big fourth down here. There was a little conversation about kicking it or going for it, and to Garrett's credit, he had a good play call, something that they felt like was going to work, and so we had a little confidence in it. We thought points may be a premium going into this game. So again, normally 4th and 2 is a go for it for us, pretty much 100% of the time. But there was some consideration to kick a field goal. But great call, great play. Max did a good job of getting the ball out to him, and sold the fake well. So it was good to start with a touchdown.
That would have also been into the wind that was swirling a little bit on that end early, right?
Yeah, there was some pretty good wind, especially early in the game. It calmed down a little bit as the game went on, but particularly early, yeah.
You had faith in Griffin, though, on the second one as he bangs this one through, and the Frogs go up 10-0 here to start this ball game. Then Kendray keeps the streak alive now. That's every game this year. This one a 25-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, a heck of a run here. Really good blocking, too, at the wide receiver position. We did some good things, I thought all day long, blocking downfield and guys hustling, so it was good to see.
Yeah, he'd go up 17-0 at this point. And then the first of 2 pick sixes. This one from Millard Bradford. Boy, he shot out like a cannon when he took this one.
He did. And same thing, you can see his teammates blocking for him, guys getting in the way. And he looked like a running back carrying the football. Did a great job getting in the end zone. It was a heck of a play for him, and I know he was excited. Anytime you score a touchdown on defense, man, that's a big deal.
24-0 in the first quarter, Coach. They had given up 24 total in the first quarter all year.
Yeah, great start for our guys. Just what we needed. And again, total team effort. Execution on offense, execution on special teams, and obviously execution on defense. So that was all. It was good to see all those things work together.
Iowa State gets on the scoreboard to start this second quarter as Deckers finds Hanukkah for the touchdown pass. But then Griffin Kale with a career long from 54.
Yeah, you got to give Mark Tomerdahl credit for this one. He, same thing. We were going to kind of try to draw him off, talked about going for it, and then, I was going to punt, and Mark said, "Hey, let Griff kick it." He made a bunch in pregame on that end and was really comfortable kicking that direction. So here he goes, lined up and nailed it. I mean, wasn't even really close. And again, you got to give Griffin a ton of credit, man. He's had a fantastic year for us. Obviously, the walk-off against Baylor was a huge play, and we believe in him, we rely on him, and again, you got to credit Coach Tomerdahl for that one.
Then you get the short field, and Kendray is able to punch it in from a yard out for second.
Yeah, good tough run here by Kendray, and great job up front, clearing the hole. And again, we continue to play well up front with our offensive line. I think those guys just continue to get better and better and better, and it's good to see them develop, and even this late into the season, because we've got a lot of guys that are improving week to week.
34-7 at halftime, and my biggest concern going into the locker room at halftime was, did Garrett have any more short yardage plays? Because you had to run so many in that first half.
Yeah, we had a bunch, and luckily we ran them well, executed them well, and that's been something that we've had to improve this year, and certainly going to be big as we get in this Kansas State championship game.
All right, get to the second half, and then Savion with this great reception. I'll tell you what, Savion has become a really good wide receiver for you.
He has, and especially here as of late. I mean, really played well against Baylor, starting to play with more and more confidence all the time. He did a great job squeezing this route here. Max made a fantastic throw, got the ball out early, threw it to the right spot, and Savion separated and went up and caught it, and it's just what you teach.
That was a 9-play, 80-yard drive, by the way. Then Hudson with his first of 2 on this one, 13-yard reception on this score.
Yeah, really good throw here. Got a little post route, and Jordan did a great job running the route and making the play.
Yeah, that one from Max as well. And then here's that second interception, the pick six. Josh Newton, 57-yard return here.
Yeah, it was good to see Josh get this play. And same thing, I mean, once he got this thing, once he picked the ball, you could see pretty quickly he had a chance to take it to the house and showed his speed, and heck of a play by him. And, he's been a guy all year that's been a huge player for us, and somebody that, is playing with a ton of confidence. And, it's just such a good addition to our program.
And by the way, that's great for these defensive guys to see, fellow teammates there on that side of the ball find the end zone.
Oh, yeah, no question. I mean, when you score a touchdown on defense, man, your odds of winning a football game really increase dramatically. And it was good to get two. Again, against a very good football team. Iowa State doesn't turn the ball over that often, and it was really showed how hard our guys worked and how well prepared they were going into the game.
They get one more score on this 19-yard run. And then Chandler Morris in at quarterback. Love seeing this. Hooks up with Hudson, the future right here.
Yeah.
Touchdown pass.
Yeah, Chandler made a heck of a throw here and really did a nice job squeezing it into a tight window. Jordan with a slide and catch, and it was a big touchdown for us. And, a big play in the game. And, again, it just helps Chandler's confidence, helps Jordan's confidence, because you know how this thing goes. I mean, there's going to be a chance or an opportunity, I'm sure, for Chandler in the next couple of weeks to come in and maybe win a game for us. And so, it's great to see him go out and execute like he did, because he really did a great job of distributing the ball, played with a ton of confidence. And, again, Jordan's a guy that's going to get better and better.
Then you got a chance to play a lot of guys, too, late in this game. Early in the year, I think it was against Tarleton. Did you play 91 guys?
Yeah, we did.
How many do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, I think we played close to 80 Saturday. I think
Okay,
it was 79, 80 maybe. And so a lot of different guys got in the ball game. And, again, anytime you can do that, it's fun for those players. Those guys work incredibly hard, and it's great when you can get them in the game.
All right, Kansas State up next for the Horned Frogs. Coach is going to rejoin us a little bit later on. We'll talk about the Wildcats, second meeting between these two teams. But first, we got our What's Your Beef? It's the question of the week, and it's coming up next after this timeout.
The Hub Fort Worth family is a passionate, energetic team of insurance professionals that have the same common goal in mind: helping businesses and individuals protect their health, property, and financial well-being. Their objective is to maximize the options available to businesses, families, and individuals while helping you make the choices that suit each unique situation and challenge. Their clients look to them for guidance in navigating the cumbersome world of insurance and investments. Their experience and personal relationships combined with their creativity enables them to craft solutions that fit your specific circumstances. Their guiding principle is, don't tell me how much you know, just show me how much you care. Since their founding in 1966, they've enhanced their offerings to include a comprehensive range of services, including employee benefits, property and casualty, and personal lines insurance. Follow them and learn more on their social media pages. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Hub Fort Worth.
Old Trapper Beefs. One-upping.
I love Old Trapper. I love how tender it is. Don't forget the wood smoke flavor. Savory beef. Quality ingredients. I'm their biggest fan.
Old Trapper, what's your beef?
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com.
Welcome back into State of the Frogs. Time for our What's Your Beef question of the week, brought to us by our friends at Old Trapper. Let's listen in and see what we got this week.
Hi, my name is Caden Rutherford, and I'm from Midland, Texas, and I wanted to ask Coach Dykes what his favorite part about growing up in West Texas was.
All right, Coach Caden from Midland, of all things, wants to know what was your favorite memory about West Texas?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, great people, really, really good people in West Texas, and it's kind of salt of the earth folks. Probably second thing is an abundance of quality chicken fried steak places. Lots of good options when you like chicken fried steak, and then also too really good Mexican food. You can get some great Mexican food out in West Texas, but you can check a lot of boxes out in West Texas for sure.
Did you have a tumbleweed as a pet too?
No, didn't have a tumbleweed as a pet, but saw a couple.
Yeah, just a few back in the day. Thank you, Jaden, for that question of the week. Coming up, it's our one-play breakdown. Coach Bowden will have that. We'll go back to the Flying T Club studios when we continue with State of the Frogs after this timeout.
Old Trapper Beefs. One-upping.
I love Old Trapper. I love how tender it is. Don't forget the wood smoke flavor. Savory beef. Quality ingredients. I'm their biggest fan.
Old Trapper, what's your beef?
Simply the best barbecue in Fort Worth. Dine in, catering, or drive-through. 2900 Montgomery, just off I-30. Remember, the best barbecue in Fort Worth is at Railhead Smokehouse.
T-Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student-athletes. Flying T-Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T-Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student-athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying Tea Club or online at flyingteaclub.com.
Texas-based Happy Water offers the best-tasting, sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPIdrinks.com. Live happy, be happy, drink happy.
Welcome back into State of the Frogs. Time for our one-play breakdown now. It happens with Coach David Bowden. He is back at our Flying Tea Club studios right now. All right, Coach, let's go to the first quarter where all the action happened in this ballgame. It's a 3rd down on the 2nd drive. You got Trent Battle in the lineup along with Kentre Miller. Miller leaves it. Start to break down what happened on this play because I love this design.
Yes, this one here was the first 3rd down on this opening drive for TCU, and they go with a play commonly referred to as mesh rail. So there's the mesh route happening here, as you can see, almost like a double mesh, because they have this the outside receiver coming in on an OTB route over the ball. So he sits here, but he's creating that rub route at the 2nd level, and then you get the rail route from Trent Battle. Really, what occurred here though is when they sent Kendre Miller in motion, that of course drew a lot of attention from the Cyclones. And really particularly at this linebacker spot right here. So, he had Trent Battle man-to-man. As soon as Kendre went, you could see him peek in the backfield. And then when the ball was snapped, he stayed locked in on Max on a spy route, spying the quarterback, and then missed on Trent Battle completely. So that was really the deal here. It was really came down to this linebacker being undisciplined and TCU executing at a high level. They needed to really get things rolling, and certainly they did on this first drive, which ultimately led to that touchdown pass we're going to talk about later on.
All right, there's your one-play breakdown. Coach David Bowden back at the Flying Tea Club studios. When we continue on State of the Frogs, Coach Sonny Dykes rejoins us. We'll start to break down the matchup between TCU and Kansas State happening on Saturday at 11 after we take this timeout.
Simply the best barbecue in Fort Worth. Dine in, catering, or drive-through. 2900 Montgomery, just off I-30. Remember, the best barbecue in Fort Worth is at Railhead Smokehouse. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com.
Old Trapper Beefs. One upping.
I love Old Trapper. I love how tender it is. Don't forget the wood smoke flavor. Savory beef. Quality ingredients. I'm their biggest fan.
Old Trapper. What's your beef?
Welcome back in State of the Frogs right now as we start to hone in on that championship game, Big 12 championship game coming up Saturday at 11 a.m. Horned Frogs and Kansas State, 2 ranked teams going at it here. This is the way it should be. I mean, you look at it on paper, these are the 2 best teams in the league.
Yeah, 2 good football teams. Kansas State had a little hiccup early in the year against Tulane. It ended up being a really good team, but these guys have been about as good as anybody in the conference. I mean, you look at the 2 wins they had over Oklahoma State and Baylor, outscored those guys 79-3 combined. And so, they showed what kind of football team they have. They've been a team that's gotten better every single week. They're playing really, really good offensively right now. Quarterback's playing outstanding, and they're doing a great job of getting the ball to the running back and their skill players. And so they're going to be a handful, and their defense is really playing well too. And special teams has gotten consistently better. So it's going to be a big challenge for us.
Yeah, they're on their second quarterback, Will Howard, now, who started last year. Of course, you saw both of them in the first meeting. Will Howard's as good as anybody in the league.
He is, and he's really throwing the ball well with a lot of confidence. And they've got a nice scheme. They do a lot of different things, again, to get Deuce Vaughn the ball and create opportunities for him to make plays in space. And get good matchups, and so it'll be a challenging game. I mean, they're really intentional about what they do and how they do it with the quarterback, and play to his strengths, and really do a nice job calling the game.
I was going to say, as an offensive guy, do you, whether you like the style or it's not your style, do you look at another team's offensive scheme and with respect to go, man, you know what, they do a really good job there.
Yeah, and in this league, everybody does that. I mean, that's what's so different about the Big 12 maybe than other leagues I've coached in, where every single week you're going to play a team that really does a nice job of attacking your weaknesses or your perceived weaknesses, and showing you something different. And so every single week we get a different offense maybe than what we expected, and some different plays and some creative ways to get good players the ball, and we have to make adjustments. And again, thankfully Joe Gillespie and their defensive staff does a great job of doing that, but it's challenging week in, week out in this league.
Malik Knowles, by the way, the wide receiver, also a weapon in the return game.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, probably the best returner in the league. I mean, does a great job on kickoff returns, fast, does a great job of hitting holes and making cuts, and they do a really, really nice job in their special teams.
Only giving up about 350 yards of offense to their opponents.
Yeah, they do a nice job ball control in the offense and grinding stuff out and limiting people's opportunities defensively. And then, you look at their defense. They've got a lot of guys that can run on the back end. Really impressed with their secondary and what they do. Linebackers make plays, and then, again, they're a team that's built up front, and their defensive front's big and powerful and strong, and have some guys that have speed on the edge, and then they push in the middle.
It's amazing the similarities. We were talking about that off air between these two teams. Attention to detail, special teams important. I mean, just well-coached football team.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that they really do a nice job. I mean, you could tell week in, week out that their team's always prepared. They're always going to try to attack certain things, and you got to know that going in and be able to make adjustments, because they're going to have something new for you every week.
How hard? I mean, everybody talks about it's hard to beat somebody a second time. But, I mean, what makes that so difficult?
Well, I think it's like anything else. A little bit of it's law of averages. You have two teams that are really pretty similar to each other, and if you play a certain number of times, both teams ought to win. And I think that's kind of the way of thinking sometimes. For us, we've got to do what we do, and we got to limit the turnovers. That's one thing. If you look at both offenses, do a great job taking care of the ball, and and so for me, I think it's going to come down to the little things, penalties and turnovers, and then the one thing I think it's going to be really important going into this game is short yardage and red zone. I think that's going to be the difference maker. Which of those teams can execute under those situations the best?
Prep any differently playing indoors?
No, not really. We'll go over on Friday and take a look at the stadium. We don't normally do that, but we want our guys to have a chance to see AT&T Stadium. A lot of them haven't been inside of it before. We'll catch some punts and do some things over there, because that'll be a little bit different. But we'll have our normal practice over here on Friday and just kind of do our normal routine.
Give Jordy one chance to hit the scoreboard and say that's it, right?
Yeah, let him punt one or two and see if he can hit it. And I think it's pretty hard to hit.
It is. I think so. Well, Coach, this has been a fun run, obviously, and this is what it's all about now. It comes down to the championship game. You roll in there undefeated, and you control your own destiny.
Yeah.
You kind of got everything.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is exactly what you work for is a program and as players, and you work for a chance to play for a conference championship on a big stage, and for a lot more coming down the road as well. And so our guys are excited about it. I mean, there's been a buzz around our program really for about the last week or so, and our guys, again, are fired up to play Kansas State. They know what kind of football team they're going to play against. I think we really respect them and their coaching staff and the way that they play. And I think our guys like a challenge, and so they see this as a big challenge, and they'll be ready to play.
All right, best of luck, Coach.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
There you go. That's Sonny Dykes, the head coach of the Horned Frogs. This is State of the Frogs. We'll have highlights for you next week from this championship game that starts at 11 o'clock on Saturday at AT&T Stadium. For the head coach, Sonny Dykes, I'm Brian Estridge. Thanks for joining us this week on State of the Frogs.
Roxo Media House.